So let's talk about Missouri. Now, Missouri was a border state, which means it was a slave state that did not secede from the Union. Okay.
Right.
Here's how this played out. A local army commander in Lawrence, Kansas, took his troops, led them into Missouri, and forcibly evicted 20,000 Missouri civilians from the state. Okay. Now, in 1860, 165,000 Missourians voted in the presidential election, and Lincoln got 10% of the votes, 17,000 votes. Okay. In 1864, Lincoln's reelection campaign, 100,000 Missourians voted, and Lincoln got 70% of the vote. Lincoln cooked the books. He manipulated the population to win the state. Does that sound familiar?
No.
D- d- the parallels between that and what we've seen is uncanny. And so Lincoln used the military to intimidate judges and elected leaders. I'll give you a few more examples. He threatened the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, with arrest after he ruled that Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus was unconstitutional, a ruling Lincoln completely ignored. Lincoln arrested and imprisoned almost half of Maryland state legislators without trial.
What?
Yeah, because Maryland was going to secede from the Union. It was a slave state. And so if Maryland had seceded, Washington, D.C. would be surrounded by Virginia and Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
So what's an easy fix to that? Arrest half of the Maryland legislature without trial, without charges, to make sure that they can't secede. So there's a congressman from Ohio. His name was Clement Vallandigham. Was arrested. This is a sitting U.S. congressman from a northern state. He was arrested, put in front of a military tribunal because he gave a speech opposing the war.
Wow.
And in Vallandigham's defense, the governor of New York wrote a letter decrying what he called Lincoln's military despotism. But it didn't matter. Vallandigham was taken by force and dumped behind Confederate lines. This was the beginning of lawfare. This was lawfare before lawfare was cool.